Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back. Um, let's have some fun. Welcome to From Data to Deals. From data to deals. We're talking about real estate investing, real estate wholesaling, wholesale real estate, however we're flipping houses for a living, even for a side hustle, even if you're experienced. All right. So well, on this platform, we're bringing more than 20 years. Personally, I'm bringing about 15 years of experience to the table. So we're going to have some fun today. I have something very exciting I want to share with you today. But before I dive into that, let me just let you know, please make sure if I say anything that makes sense to you or you got some value from during the course of this session, make sure you give it a thumbs up. But also, we have a software that we use for the most things that we do here, and you can get your hands on it and try it out for free for 7 days at EmpireBigData.com. But don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I'll show you more. I will demonstrate the software here, but today we're talking about finding cash buyers. So the idea of real estate wholesaling is to find deals. Well, finding deals will require knowing how to identify deals. We have tons of episodes where we've covered that quite a bit. Okay, so you want to make sure you watch all of the previous 18 episodes. Take your time, watch it, take some notes. You'll be hanging out with me, but you get to take some notes by yourself, because when you write down the notes, it is probably much more beneficial for you when you're watching my screen and you're taking the notes. Okay, the business of real estate investing is a art. It's also a science. It's a art because it takes practice. Okay, it takes practice. It takes consistency. It takes doing it over and over again. I'm going to say some things today to you. If you're brand new into the game, you may not necessarily be able to comprehend it. I try my best to bring it down so you can, but that's just the nature of anything brand new. But if you've been around, you'll be hearing something that you've heard before, and for the first time, suddenly it makes sense to you. Okay, so I want you to hang around, stick around, and learn the heart of it. It is a science. We can bring it down to a science. Eventually, you will find your own little science in the midst of all of this, but just hang around and pay attention, because obviously you're here because you know it's a very lucrative business opportunity for you that you can do from home. You can flip houses nationwide from anywhere in the world. Does that make sense? So today we're going to be talking about, I'm going to go into my folder right now and pull out some of the lessons that I have for you today. We're going to have some fun today. Today we're going to be talking about 7 points deal disposition. This is a very important lesson. If you lock up a property under contract, which is essentially the first series of steps, maybe 2-3 steps in real estate wholesaling. If you lock up a property under contract and you don't know what to do with that contract, or you get in the mercies, you're at the mercies of the few cash buyers that you know personally, you're not doing yourself a favor, because you're probably leaving a lot of money on the table. So today we're going to cover 7-point deal disposition, 7-point deal disposition that you will use to make sure that you're able to dispose of the deals that you lock up under contract. Okay. By the time you're going through the second third of this 7 points, the property should have been gone off your hands. You should have a scheduled closing. If you don't, chances are it wasn't a deal. Something was wrong with the number, and then you have to go back to negotiations table. All right. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're also on YouTube, because then you get a notification anytime I come on board. And this is the Empire Big Data that I told you about. So let me go ahead and share the first point. But wait, before I get into the first point, a couple of questions came in, and then there's a couple of lessons that I wanted to share with you before I get into the 7 points. Step 1 is stand alone. Step 2, stand alone, all the way through step 7. Each individual one of this should help you sell your properties, or let me say, sell your contracts. Okay, if you're not an agent, you're not supposed to be selling a property. That's why you want to make sure you lock up a good deal. That way, you're just worried about assigning the contract over to a person that sees that deal. Now, with respect to seeing the deal, there are going to be some people that just won't see your deal. Okay, and when you message them, however way, whichever one of these 7 points that you use, when you message them, they will come back with intimidation, try to intimidate you, and or lectures. Basically, there's a place for lecture in the business. Obviously, this is one of them, right? I do teach here, and I also have membership where I teach people step by step to execute. By the way, we have the 11 days challenge coming up for acquisition side of things. We have the 11 days disposition. We'll talk about that in a second. But there are some questions that will come in that will try to intimidate you. So there are 3 of them that are very popular, and I'm going to share them with you. But before I share that with you, there is this question that came on a previous episode, and it was partly what inspired this session. Okay, it says, do you have a video I can use today to learn to advertise a property? Okay, so we don't advertise properties. That's why you see me say question marks right next to properties on the scrolling label over there, on the scrolling banner. We don't advertise properties, okay? Unless you are a realtor and you're about to make commissions and you're going to be representing the interest of a seller or a buyer. If you're not doing that, if you're not representing their interest, you're just doing business, you're buying low, you're selling high, which is what wholesalers do, technically speaking, then that lingo is incorrect. You are advertising a contract. So the deal needs to make sense just by the numbers. And then when people dig in a little deeper, obviously there's a property behind the deal. And then so you want to make sure you're avoiding things like you have to show a property and you have to show to multiple people. And if you have to show to too many people, usually that means the deal is not good. Okay. And you're also treading very close to a dangerous zone where you're not supposed to operate like an agent. But like I said, everything's in a heart. Everything's a heart. And there are agents that are okay with the business that we do. There are agents that are completely a-hole, and they will make an, excuse my French, ass out of you if you let them. So with that being said, I'm going to share these 3 questions that you will get from some buyers or even agents that will try to intimidate you. But that's why you want to make sure you're sticking around, you're learning as much as you can, because I will share these things as they come, as they show up in my business. I've seen them, tons of them in different various forms over the years. Okay, so I just want you to know, stay focused on what your goals are. You have a contract to dispose. You collect a few opinions or offers, and you make an informed decision like that to decide if you need to renegotiate or you move forward to close the deal. Okay, you don't have to engage in unnecessary conversations such as, is this your first deal? If you send a message to cash buyers and they go, is this your first deal? This is your first deal, right? If you get that kind of message, that is 99% not a buyer. Okay, basically that's a person that is hungry to teach someone, and you're not the one to teach. You know where to go to learn. You're never going to finish learning in this business, okay? But you got to separate time for learning from the time that you're marketing a deal that you need to sell, okay? However, you're always learning. You may get a few of those back, and the only thing you should learn from that, okay, it was a bad deal, okay? Let me pull it off the market and go renegotiate. But don't engage. Don't engage in argument. Don't engage in back and forth. You don't have to convince anybody about nothing. You're the one that found the deal. That was a whole lot of steps, professional steps that you went through to find the deal. Don't let anyone intimidate you. And that doesn't mean you're 100% correct or right. It has nothing to do with right and wrong. It's about doing business and making sure that your energy is laser focused where you're going. Where you're going is to dispose of the deal and collect your assignment fees. Stay focused on that. And if somebody is saying something, receive the opinion as data point, because you may actually learn something from it. But don't engage in back and forth. No, it's a good deal. No, it's not. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're always collect. See, one person may have an opinion that is a bad deal. The other person may say this is a good deal. Okay. And it's all good. And everyone's agenda is quite different. Some people are looking for 30 cents on the dollar. Some people are saying, no, I'm just looking for my first deal. 70 cents on the dollar is perfectly fine. And if I have to end up renting this property out, then that's fine. So keep that at the back of your mind. Collect data. Always collecting data, even as you are marketing. Like I said on one of the posts on my Instagram page, Don't ever market ever again if you're not going to collect data as you're doing it. Okay, we're all learning lessons, but make sure that you align that properly. Okay. All right. So the second one says, do you know what a comp is? If you sent out comparables, a comp, you created a comp report from empirebigdata.com, which you can do for free on empirebigdata.com prop stream, right? If you pull out a comp and there's no such thing, a comp, basically a comparable market analysis or appraiser is still an opinion. It's just that when it's certified, it becomes a professional opinion. But you're going to find people in this business, a lot of young kids that thinks everything is science, right? And they will try to educate you and tell you how something is wrong. It's not right and wrong. It's an opinion, especially if you have 3 to 5 comps backing up the value of the property, right? You don't have to engage in certain types of conversation, just letting you know that, okay? All right. So if they say, do you know what a comp is? That's somebody hungry for they're hungry for something to educate. Don't get into that. Avoid that completely. All right. All right. So let's keep going here. The next one is here. This is not even more of this is not really like a question. This is more like a statement. The repairs are more. So you put together as a wholesaler, you're never going to have like an accurate. You can have an estimate of repairs based on, does it need a little bit of work, it needs medium amount of work, or it needs a full rehab. A full rehab or had a level is like, here in New Jersey, that's $100,000. You're talking about $80,000 to $100,000, depending. Again, it's still an opinion, depending on who is doing the deal. All you have to do is give an estimate and just tell them you're responsible for your own estimate. That's all you have to do. If a property is in a livable condition, mild update, okay? Mild update, $10,000, $20,000, $35,000. You say, hey, I think it needs $25,000. You think, okay? Your estimation will get better with time as you continue to learn in this game. That's why I tell you that this is a art and also a science, okay? But the science is that consistency in the game, naturally, you get better and better in creating estimates, a quick estimate. Hey, I'm not sure you need to do your own estimate, but the house is in a livable condition, is occupied right now as we speak. All right. So those are the three that you're going to get the most from people that just want to try to intimidate you. They are everywhere because everyone thinks they are experts right now. But the truth of the matter is that this game is about, it's the survival of the fittest. It's opinions all over the place. The market is still opinion. It's just going to be another disease that may show up and then tank the market. Things happen, and it's all opinions and it's all greed and there's fear and there's emotions in the marketplace, and you can make money in the midst of all of that. Just stay focused on what your goals are. Collect data. Don't engage in argument. There's zero benefits from argument or any kind of back and forth that doesn't go in the direction of you're interested, you're putting down an earnest money deposit, and we're going to close in the next 14 days. Any conversation that don't fall in that line, it's not worth it, okay? It's not worth it. And you may say, hey, I just feel good educating people. Then you become what I'm saying, don't entertain. Don't do that. Don't engage in conversations that are worthless. Usually they come in the form of an argument, somebody trying to instigate some kind of antagonistic energy. Don't engage in it. Okay, there's one more question before I get into the 7 points. I got to squeeze this into 30 minutes because my time is too tight and I'm limited on time now. So 30 minutes, 4 to 4:30, Monday through Thursday, we'll be here. So pardon me, guys. Okay, but I'm still going to be here every day, Monday through Thursday, 4 to 4:30. Also, as a form of respect for your time, just want to make sure I condense everything. All right. Question here says, you didn't say why you picked this particular county. So this is a question from previous episodes. Or what criteria do you look for in a county? You mentioned you don't want too big or too small, but what is too big or what is too small? This question is coming from probably most likely from not watching all of the episodes yet, but that's okay. 1 million population in any county. Below that, and anything less than $500,000, I'm going too low. It's not enough. So I would say I recommend go watch all of the episodes, and also you want to make sure that you go through this workshop. I'm going to show you the workshop, link to the workshop right now in a second here. This workshop is myEmpirePRO.com/go virtual. You want to make sure you attend this, and at the end of it, I give away a free gift, which is a list of all 3,000 counties in the nation with their population. It's something I create, so if you try to Google it, maybe you could find it somewhere, but I created it. Okay. All right. So with that being said, let's go into the 7 points how to dispose of your deals, how to find cash buyers, maybe not cash buyers, maybe investors who want to use hard money. That just means they have to have a good credit, and usually they need to have experience because hard monies are tighter these days. So just keep that in mind, okay, as you're moving through the business. Oh, let me see here. Okay, there was okay, so there was another question that, never mind. Let's just go ahead and go to 1 of 7. Basically, you want to message your buyers and partners network. All right, you want to message your partners and buyers network. I know the original question says, the person was not interested, okay, in partnership, but I'm sorry, there's no such thing as no partnership in real estate. I've closed tons of deals over the last 15 years, and I have never closed one single deal up to date where I am not paying some form of partnership. It may not be a 50-50. It may be somebody I'm sending $1,000 to, $2,000 to, $5,000, half 50-50. Some people that actually I'm paying them 60% because it was a special scenario, so there's always some kind of partnership, because the game of entrepreneurship is about leverage. It's not about what you can do, it's about what you can get done. So when you're building your list of buyers, which you must always be building, I'm going to give you other, like you may say, I don't have a buyers or partners network here. The rest of the other ones I'm going to share with you out of this 1 to 7, it's going to be about building your list. But let's just assume if you have a list that you're building, which you should never market if you're not going to build a list and collect data. The rest of them is going to be helping you build your list. But you're like after the first round of your first deal, you should have a list. That should be the first people you contact always. So it's a buyer's network, it's a partner's network. I call it partner's network because it may contain a list of wholesalers that you have relationship with. Just keep in mind that if you're dealing with a wholesaler to bring you a buyer, have some kind of relationship with them, or they've proven that they've been around, like they have a big list and they help you dispose. But the key thing here is you want to move these deals as fast as humanly possible. If you're moving this deal and you're moving sluggishly, right, you're going to end up acting like an agent when you're not licensed as an agent. So even if you're licensed as an agent, you're not supposed to be marketing, quote unquote, a property over a period of time when you in fact have the property locked under contract. You're essentially trying to market equitable interest in a contract. You may be violating some kind of code of ethics or something like that. The longer you spend on it, the more you fall in that category. You want to move these deals fast, okay? So the best way to do that is, message a partner, somebody you've worked with in the past, and a mortgage broker that you've worked with, an agent, you have some relationship. Hey, I have this deal, I want to move it. They understand what you do already. They know you're a wholesaler. They know it's a contract. Some of them will still ask you, is this a contract? So yeah, it's a contract. That's what we do, right? You don't have to be smart about it. You don't have to be wise about it. Just tell them what you're doing and keep it moving as fast as humanly possible. You want to make sure, you want to try to lock this up under contract, the second B2C contract, within 48 hours, okay? 48 to 72 hours max. Once it's going past 72 hours, then you want to start reconsidering your other deal disposition opportunities, which I'm going to share some with you right now, okay? So message your buyers and your partners network and collect and see what they say. Collect opinions, collect offers. Opinions, offers. I need to see it. Okay, I'm going to set you up to see it. Write it down. You don't have to go try to schedule right now. Write it down that they would like to see it. Collect some more opinions, some more data. You want to be laser focused. You want to have a process, a system in place that you follow. And this deal is not the end or be all. And you're going to close the deal if you follow exactly what I'm telling you. Now, if you get panicky and you catch anxiety and you're just trying to, and then you're going to mess things up, and so just keep that in mind at the back of your mind, okay? Number 2, you want to skip trades and text cash buyers, okay? So with that being said, I think I should share my screen, and I'll show you. Basically, it's very, very simple. Let me refresh my page here. All right. Let's share screen. Let me show you where I find my cash buyers. Basically, the cash buyers, I've covered this in previous episodes, just not as a standalone. Okay. But it's very simple. Again, keep it simple. Don't complicate this for yourself. I personally, I still have tendencies to complicate things. It's just human nature. Okay. That's okay. But keep checking yourself. If you see that you're overanalyzing stuff and you're overanalyzing everything, just check yourself and say, hey, that's not how we create results. First of all, the process is not the result. The result is at the end of it. So you want to make sure you're not attached. You want to be in love in the process, but not be attached to all the different details in between. And that's why you see me going through this right now, and I can do this in my sleep. You could wake me up in my sleep. I could be like this, and I can still show you because it's practice over time. It's something that's why I'm doing this series, so you can be here from time to time and see how it works. If you see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 50, 100 times, it becomes second nature. All right. So let's go here. All right. So for example, let's say I have a property on 78. Let's say 78 New Brunswick Avenue. Right? Let's say this is a property I'm trying to flip right now. So we got a couple here. Matawan, right? Matawan, Phillipsburg is too far away. Spotswood is not too far away. Franklin Township, I like Franklin Township, so I'm gonna go with that. All right, it's an issue with that. All right, so let me try something else. Keep it simple. 78 New Brunswick. Let's try Spotswood. That's okay. So we got. Please double check the address. Okay. I wonder why. Let's just backspace up. It's probably because of the way it's set up. Let's try this. Okay. Let's go to Spotswood. A little weird what's going on. Okay, looks like we're good now. Are we? I'm not sure. 78. Okay, I guess. Okay, let me try Pothamboy. Okay, perfect. What's going on here? All right, so let me try 205 Morrissey Avenue. Let's try this one. Okay. All right, we got a good one. All right, so we got this property right here, right? Around that property, probably in the same city, we have 164 cash buyers, okay, that I can go after, okay? So that's the first level I will go into. I will click right into that box, okay? And I will click filter, okay? And I want to make sure that these people, there was active sales in the last 1 year. That's pretty much for the most part what I do, okay? No, not that part. This one, we'll go back 1 year here and just drop this into 2019 and select the same date as today. What's today? June 3rd. Okay. All right. And then we're going to click close. And then we got 30. I got 30 people I can go after right now. That's the first list. Okay. That's the first list. Basically, you want to select this. You want to add this into a list. It will get saved into your properties list. And then you can skip trace. You skip trace it. And from skip tracing, you will find phone numbers, and you can skip trace for email addresses too. But I probably wouldn't do that for cash buyers. I'll just skip trace for phone numbers, and I will reach out to. I will simply text a message to these people, teasing them, basically like a tease message, like ARV, asking price, repair cost. Please reply if you're interested in Edison. I could say something like, this would be like Woodbridge fixer upper, okay, and I will simply share that. Now, if you want all of these details and notes and stuff like this, you got to come on in the inside of the membership. This is basically just me giving you the 7 points on how to find. This is just simply 7 points how to find cash buyers and how to get the property disposed as fast as humanly possible. Within the 72 hours, you want to collect some interest. All right. So number 3, let's go to number 3. The number 3 is message flipper agents. Okay, in the same spot inside of the same software, you can message flipper agents. What does that mean? Okay, flipper agents are essentially agents that work with people that actually bought properties for cash and flip the house within a short period of time. Okay, So the good news is that Proption already put a nice filter here for that. And so you could go here, you could literally say, let's go to New Brunswick this time around. Go to New Brunswick Township. All right. New Brunswick, New Jersey. Okay. And then I think I cleared all right, hopefully. All right. So you go inside your filter and simply go here. And inside of this quick list, you see a short list it's called a quick list flippers. Okay. When you click that, you simply close. Okay. And these are properties that were purchased for cash and listed up for sale. And basically, the idea is you want to click into each one of these 7 properties. Okay. And you want to go under MLS details. Okay, and under here you will see the information, phone numbers for the agents. These agents work with cash buyers. You want to call them and say, hey, what are you doing? I'm an investor. I have a property. I'm an investor. I am an investor. I have a property that I need to dispose. Okay, these are fix and flips. I see that you work with some cash buyers. Do you have some cash buyer? Do you have that you can work with? I pay full commission. And yes, you should pay full commission. This is how you work with agents. You must bring some kind of value to the table for them, okay? Because the time is also precious. And if they hear something out of the box like wholesaling, and they're busy people, they don't have time for you to be defining or giving them the definition of what wholesaling is. They don't have time for that, okay? So stay focused as usual on what you're there to do, which is, but again, the lingos are very important. So don't go there and say, I'm a wholesaler. What is a wholesaler? You don't know what a wholesaler is? Or a wholesaler, don't do things like that, okay? Don't, keep it simple. I've got a property. It's a fixer-upper. It's a special deal, but it's good for a cash buyer. You have cash buyers, I'll pay you full commission if you bring me a cash buyer. Listen, that's like ching, 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 okay? So don't engage in activities that will not pay you, like educating people, unless you are like me and you teach people and you charge for that, okay? Like coaches, right? Don't do that unless that's that segment of your business, okay? It's never worth it. I'm telling you. That's why we teach you to look for investor-friendly realtors, but to me, everyone is friendly if you're not using the wrong language, okay? So just a little nuances over there, okay? All right, so by the time you're doing all of these 3 points, this is 3 of 7 right now. If this was a deal, you should be able to dispose of this deal and have some interest, show the property. Don't do no more than 2 to 3 showings. If you're doing more than 2 or 3 showings, you're acting like an agent, okay? This should be a very simple showing. Now, if the house is on a lockbox, it's a little bit easier. You can send people there a few more times, okay? But if the house is occupied, no, you don't want to be acting like an agent. It's not worth it, okay? It's probably not worth it. Probably the deal is wrong and you need to renegotiate, okay? Or present some other kind of deal like subject to or something like that. Topic for entirely another day, okay? So the 4th of 7 is to list the property on Craigslist.org. My advice for you when you list this property on Craigslist.org, okay, is first of all, put in the right location. Second of all, put a phone number, but request that people need to give you a proof of funds before you can give them access to address, the full address of the property. So you can say cross streets, like this property is on Rawway and Chicago Avenue. You want to give them cross street. Don't give them the address. And believe it or not, okay? People would do, there's so many people coming into the business that there are people doing shady stuff. It's just what it is. That's just human beings. People are people, right? So make sure you're protecting your interest always. If you're dealing with a new person, newbies there, the people trying to get smarter than the system. It's a system. You will get found out at some point. There's a small community, but people will still try it anyway, right? And if you're dealing with a person that just expert disposition or something like that, like for example, we have a huge list here and we have reputation to protect, then you want to use discretion, right? Because there's no promise anywhere, to be honest, but you want to use discretion, okay? So list on Craigslist, put cross streets, and just collect phone calls and collect interest and tell if they want more information about the property. You can send them pictures, but if they want more information than just pictures, tell them you need proof of funds, okay? A lot of time, if it's a good deal, people will take screenshot of their bank account and send it to you. That's good enough. You may say, can they make up screenshot? Well, it doesn't really matter. If they go through all that work to give you a screenshot, just entertain it. Okay, just entertain it. The idea is to just filter out tire kickers a little bit more. Okay, that's the idea. It's not to be perfect. Nothing is ever going to be perfect in this business. Get rid of the idea that something is perfect. Get rid of the idea of looking for complete full information before you take action. Take action as you go, because it's actually the best way to learn. Experience. All right, so let's go on here. I'm supposed to be 30 minutes, but as usual, I'm doing overtime, but that's okay. Number 5, list on Facebook Marketplace. You don't know what that is? Google it, okay? List the property the same way you listed it on Craigslist, list it on Facebook Marketplace. People check it. You want to list it under real estate category and put it up there. Again, by the time you're getting to number 3 of 7, honestly, this property should have been gone, but I'm giving you a few more bonuses that just maybe it's just a unicorn type of property and you need more eyeballs or anything like, you need more ideas, you want to go harder. Here are some options for you. You may, and this is my order. This is the order that I go in. You may decide that, hey, I want to list on Craigslist first. I want to list on Facebook first. There's no right and wrong with these things. As long as you go hard and get it exposed, the contract, the deal, get it exposed as fast as humanly possible. Collect data, collect offers, collect opinions too, right? Within 72 hours and make a decision. It's not about making a killer on one deal. It's about closing this one. Create that relationship, because that relationship is going to be useful. Remember step 1, when you're disposing the next deal and you want to keep it moving. See, the person that can move money the fastest are the ones that succeed, because, and then long-term outlook, of course, right? All right. Then obviously there are other classified ad spots where you can list them. Back in the days, I used to list on forsalebyowner.com. I don't do that anymore. It used to cost like $100. I did that back in days, but I don't do that anymore, because again, I have a lot more different options. Okay, even if a cash buyer doesn't pick up a property, it doesn't really matter. Okay, because this is a business, it's a numbers game. Sometimes the numbers will say something else and you overlooked something. That's okay. You will learn something new. Now you know not to make the same mistake again, but you want to go through that process. But honestly, you're going to be spending money on skip tracing cash buyers here. That's where your money should go, not into listing it on for sale. Those are proven cash buyers. Those are people on public records that the city, the county records are showing you they purchased the property for cash. And then the agents are people that have actually worked with people that close deals. Those are usually good enough if it's a good deal. Okay. All right. So list it on other classified, some people list properties on eBay, even ebay.com, right? I don't, okay? But it's, there's a lot of gurus teaching all kind of gimmicky stuff that they don't do themselves, but the options are there. The bottom line is that audience, get eyeballs on it, right? And you just never know where your buyer is going to come from. And like I said, partners, even wholesalers on your list is not a bad idea. Just make sure they're not wasting your time. If you detect as a wholesaler interested in selling your property, tell them that, hey, we're splitting it this way and cap it off. You can cap it up at $5,000, $7,000 that I'll pay you. You can do things like that. You can get creative. There's no rules to it. If they're bringing you a buyer, let them bring you a buyer to see the property. Don't go show the property to wholesalers. It's useless. They're not going to buy the property. Let them bring their buyers and be willing to pay people generously. Okay, even 50-50 is fine. Okay, be willing to pay people. That's why I pay realtors. I pay them their full commission. I pay as much as 6% for realtors that work with me. Why? Because I want them to keep working with me. It's about the relationship actually more to me than this one deal. All right. So last but not least, explore buying with a personal BFF. Well, not BFF essentially. I actually meant family and friends. Okay. If for some reason you really know that this is a good deal, or maybe it can cash flow more, but the investors are not interested because it's not good enough of a deal, that will happen sometimes, right? Consider buying it and keeping it on your, and start paying it down. Get it rented out, especially if it's already rented out. Get it rented out. Do a few upgrades here and then. Keep that in your portfolio and list it on the market for 90 days, for a full-blown 90 days, and get full amount for it. Some people call that wholesale, right? But it's the last. I figure I should just add that into it. So if you have any questions right now, I would entertain. I got about 30 more seconds. I will entertain it. With that being said, just so you know, again, I'll be here from 4 to 4:30, Monday through Thursdays. Okay, I hang out here just to share what's happening in my life, what's happening in the business, any new updates, anything that's going on. I share that with you. Black Lives Matter. Yes, Black Lives Matter. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else. Right now, in this time period right now, we need to make sure that we understand the way the world is moving. It's about love, positivity. Let's stay positive. Let's add love. Don't engage in arguments. Just see how much value you can bring into another person's life. Let's focus on things like that, right? Let's not worry about what is in it for me, okay? If you worry about what's in it for you all the time, you're going to miss out on some tremendous, beautiful relationships. How about serve other people? Just focus on serving other people. I know people can be evil sometimes. I get it. But I'm telling you right now, if you focus on serving and putting value out into, yes, still a marketplace, right? You will notice that your energy is laser focused only where you're going to receive. You will receive. I guarantee you will receive, because the law of nature is partly reciprocity, right? The law of reciprocity is just going to happen, okay? But of course, part of giving is to make sure you're giving yourself. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Sit your butt at home if you have to sit your butt at home, and stay safe out there. That's all I have for you on this episode. I will see you on tomorrow at 4 p.m. Peace.